In this video I'll be replacing the clutch master cylinder as well as the slave cylinder. The master cylinder for the clutch went out, or the cylinder for the clutch, whatever. It went out, it's leaking where the pedal is, and that's a good indication that that's going out. So, alright, so this one, I believe it's the original master cylinder or clutch master cylinder. You can see it's leaking pretty bad. It's also just dripping inside the cab. So yeah, it's still full because I just put more fluid in there, but it's just leaking pretty bad. Anyways, I'm losing daylight, so I'm gonna do my best to take up my camera. If not, I might have to switch to my phone and see if I could mess with the quality. Slave cylinder is on the passenger side by the transmission, and so yeah, I'm gonna start doing some. Okay, so things you're gonna need gloves. I have 5mm. I actually usually use 9mm, but I ran out. You're gonna need your 12mm socket. I use the extension just to take off the master cylinder. You need a crescent wrench, possibly for the pedal, just to take that off, unless you can get it with your hand. Sometimes you can use pliers. I don't recommend it, but use something like that. You do need flare nut wrenches. Only reason why, you don't want to round off the nut on the master cylinder or the slave cylinder. Get some PB blaster, or you can use WD-40. I recommend this. If you saw on my truck, it's really rusted in there, so I don't want to mess up anything. I'd rather just right now have it soaking. So anyways, you have your master cylinder for the clutch and your slave cylinder. Oh yeah, one last thing I forgot to mention. You're gonna need some pliers. You can use needle nose pliers or just regular pliers. My bad, I forgot to put that in the intro. And also to get a flashlight if you're doing this at like me in the evening, because I'm losing daylight really quick. Alright, so if you look inside the cab, you can see, you know, a lot of the old fluid leaking. What you want to do first is come underneath where your clutch pedal is. I don't know if you guys can see that really good. It's hard to do it in this position, but anyways, you know, those pliers, there's a clip right here that holds the pedal on, and you're going to want to unclip that and then just catch the little pin they have on this other side over here. Sorry, I'm really trying to get this to focus in. I think you guys can see that. But yeah, you want to take that off, take off the pin, which is, maybe you can see it. Let me move this. There we go. Which is right here. You want to take that pin off, and this is the whole little master cylinder, clutch, whatever. You want to take that off, and it should just release. Look at that. There's like no effort in this thing. Yeah, so take that off, and then you go to the hood, and then yeah. So once you get the inside off, the pin and all that, come out in the engine bay, take the nuts off, and then go inside and hit the pedal against it, because it's kind of stuck in there from all the crud, and it loosens it. So once you've done that, come back out here and take your brake lines off. Alright, so now that I'm here, let's do the brake line. I guess that's what you can call it. So this is a 10 on this. So like I said, mine's already had the PB blaster on it. Put some paper towels in there, or some regular, like a shop towel, because it's going to drip some fluid. And then yeah, that way you don't mess it up. Like I said, mine's kind of messed up already, and there's going to be more stuff done to this truck. Anyways. So you can do old versus new. You know what? I'm kind of messed up on this video already, but I'm just going to still post it. You still need to get some brake fluid. I don't know if you watched my last video with the master cylinder. I bench bled it. You don't necessarily have to bench bleed the new one. You can if you want, if it's your preference, but you don't really have to. You can actually bleed it from inside the vehicle or your vehicle. I just like to do it because it's just, since it's out, it's whatever. But it's the same concept. You just push this in and then plug the hole and then let out. You just do that for a couple times so it starts spitting fluid out. But like I said, you don't really have to do it out of the vehicle. It's just it's your preference. But I do recommend to do it when you do an actual brake master cylinder, because that's a pain in the butt. That takes forever to do. But this is such a small cylinder, you don't have to worry about it. Make sure when you put this in there, make sure you leave that in there. Don't take that out. I don't know, my old one apparently doesn't have it. But yeah, just leave that in there. But alright, so I'm just going to bench bleed it. If my camera dies, I'm really sorry. I'll use my phone, but the quality will be a little off. I think I can switch it to 4K. But yeah. So before you do anything else, make sure you just copy the way this is. I can't get my words out. Just make sure you copy that, because if you look at it, you see how it's all the way to the end. This one's not. You just want to make sure you put it back in the same adjustment. Or if you want to do it a different way, you can. Just make sure your clutch isn't dragging, or you know what I mean. But I always recommend just to copy your old one that's on there. Alright, so adjustments are done. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a bench bleeding on this. So. Remember, when doing this, don't cover this hole yet. You got to push this in. Watch the bubble, and then you cover it. And you see the fluid going down. Same thing. Push it in ever so gently, and then cover it. And pretty much, it's already there. So they give you this little plug. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to take this paper towel real quick and catch the fluid that's coming out. And I'm going to cover it. And pretty much you're there. You'll feel it sucking your finger, and you should be good. So I'm going to throw this back on there. I don't want this to leak when I'm walking it to the truck. Like I said before, do not get this on your paint. It will eat the paint really quick. Okay, so now I'm done doing the bench bleeding. So it's hard to get the camera over here. I don't have a tall tripod, unfortunately. That's something else I need to invest in. But pretty much you just feed it through the hole, and then you just put these back on the studs on there, and then you bolt them down, and then you put your line in, and then you'll go inside the cab and connect the pedal to it.
1 hour later. Three hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time card.
Okay, so it kind of took me a while to do this. It's not like a puzzle. It's kind of like you have to force it in. I tried taking the plate that holds the studs on. That's pretty much the bracket for the pedal assembly, or clutch pedal assembly, and it was still giving me a lot of problems. So I ended up putting it back on and tightening it, and then just trying to do it again, because mine was kind of loose. But yeah, it's a little hard to do. Once you get that in, then put your line in, and then just start turning it on there, and you should be good. I'll probably recommend that you guys just bleed it in the truck, not on the outside. I thought it was gonna be way simpler, because usually like when you do this, they sit right in there without fighting. I don't know what it is about this truck. It might not be like with other trucks. I don't know, it could just be mine. But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep going with that, and then reconnect the pins, and we'll be. Okay, so my camera died, unfortunately, so I'm using my phone. I had to readjust this because, like I said, I was fighting with it earlier, and I thought it would help. It didn't, actually. So, anyways, by doing that too, I kind of messed this up. I bent this. This is the stopper for the pedal. I'm going to have this come back to here, so I just got to readjust this. Alright, so everything's back in there now, so I had to top this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just actually going to bleed this from here, and then I'll probably just do the slave cylinder next, and then you'll have to bleed the slave cylinder after, and then probably come back and then just double check with this. Alright, so I kind of had to improvise. My wife is doing something right now, so to bleed the clutch master cylinder, just pump this a couple times, or pump it till you feel a little bit of pressure, and then stick something there that'll hold the clutch to the ground. And it's not the perfect, it's not the best way to do this, but this is the only long thing I have right now to do this. So, and stick it with your seat. Unfortunately, I have a bench seat right now, so it's not like easily to move this back and forth. Otherwise I would have. Anyways, yeah, do that, and then you go to the actual master cylinder itself, and then put your 10 on there, and then crack it, and then you'll see a little bit come out, and then close it right away, and then go and keep doing the same thing back and forth. So unfortunately, I'm kind of out of time. I'm gonna do the clutch slave cylinder tomorrow in the daytime. It'll still be in one video, so if the video looks like it's in the daytime, it's because, yeah, so I'm out of time right now. But the slave cylinder is still good on this. It's better to change them both out. If you do one, just do the other. But yeah, so if you guys are wondering why there's possibly going to be light with this video, it's because I had to do it the next day. So anyways, I'm going to keep trying to do this, and then once I'm done, I'll take it for a drive, put it on video, and we should be good. And also too, one more thing to add. When doing this, don't forget to put a towel underneath there. I didn't. I'm squirting this down right now because a little bit of fluid leaked down there earlier. So I'm going to keep doing this where, you know, bleeding it and going from there. But just remember to put some paper towels or rags or something. Like I said in our previous video, I'm not too worried about the engine bay right now. It's really, as you can see, it's really dirty. This will be probably another video where I actually clean the engine bay and detail it. So yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing too. Some of you are kind of a little iffy about this, but I'm actually going to be case swapping this truck. Originally I wanted to do a 2JZ, and then I went to kind of went to LS, and then I had the idea of doing a 1UZ, but now I'm just thinking about it. I think I'm just going to do a K series swap, which will be K24 with the turbo. I'm aiming for 500 horsepower. So yep, let me know what you guys think. Write down in the comments about that. But I'm just going to continue with this, and then I'll update the video again for the next day. So